Our scripture lesson is from 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 4 through 12. If you'd like to read along, it can be found on page 999 in your Pew Bible. And the background of this passage is that there are people fighting in church. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that just how does that happen? And this time, the church in Corinth, they tend to fight a lot. This time they're fighting about who has the better gift. Who is better than others? Let's listen to God's holy word. Now there are varieties of gifts, but the same Spirit. And there are varieties of service, but the same Lord. And there are varieties of activities, but it is the same God who activates all of them in everyone. To each is given the manifestation of the Spirit for the common good. To one is given through the Spirit the utterance of wisdom, and to another the utterance of knowledge, according to the same Spirit. To another faith, by the same Spirit. To another gifts of healing, by the one Spirit. To another the working of miracles, to another prophecy, to another the discernment of spirits, to another various kinds of tongues, to another the interpretation of tongues. All these are activated by one and the same Spirit, who allots to each one individually, just as the Spirit chooses. May God bless our hearing, our reading, and our understanding of God's holy word this morning. Recently, I was visiting a lady from church. She'd been sick. She had just celebrated a momentous birthday, and she wasn't feeling all that great about things. During our visit, she started reminiscing about all the things that she used to do in church. Go to worship every Sunday, help usher, be a deacon, knit things for the fair, bring soup to people who were sick, go to women's fellowship. She was a force. She used to do it all. And now she said, all I can do is pray. As if that was nothing at all. So I tried to reassure her that praying was really doing an awful lot. Praying for her friends, for her family, for the church, for the world. That it really meant a lot to us and to God. But I could tell she didn't believe me. She just gave me that look, and then she patted my hand and said, "Nice try, dear." She truly didn't understand how important and how necessary prayer is. Of all the things that she had done in her lifetime for the church, this seemed less than, not as important a gift as all the others. But you don't believe that, do you? Ooh. Think about this. I think we can all testify to how important prayer can be. If you think about it, think about a time that someone has asked you to pray for them, and you did. Think about a time someone prayed for you, and what that felt like. Even if it was just knowing that someone was praying for you, it mattered. Prayer does something. Just nod your heads if you agree. Thank you very much. It's an important gift. In addition to all the other gifts that the Apostle Paul mentioned in his letter to the church. And in addition to all those other gifts that he didn't mention. Gifts that you all happen to have. So this is what I want you to know this morning, what I want you to remember. It's only 3 things. It's a 3-point sermon, and I know that you always spend the rest of the day ruminating on everything that I say. I get emails constantly all day from you. Just these 3. The first is, I'm reiterating what Paul said, we all have a gift. a talent. You may think you don't, but you do. How many of us go around saying to ourselves or to others, I'm just not that good at that. I really don't have any gifts. Nothing special anyway. Well, that's wrong. You're doing yourself a disservice, and God too, when you say things like that, when you don't think you have a gift. Remember that poster? I think it was in the 80s. It might have been in the 70s. It said, I know I'm special because God don't make no junk. Please, someone else remember that besides me. Someone? Was that in the 60s? Was I? 70s, thank you. Which makes us how old?
Don't think about it.
Okay. So, the point is, you all have a gift. We all do. The first thing. The second thing to remember is we all have a responsibility to find out what that gift is. Now, some of us are lucky. Some of us find out when we're very, very young. Take Mary. When did you know you could play the piano? And she's incredibly gifted, isn't she? So she found out early. Lucky Mary. Now, the rest of us, sometimes it takes a little longer. If you don't know what your gift is, here are a couple of things to do. First, you can read about it. There are some great books out there. Another thing is, it's called a spiritual gift inventory. And I've done it with small groups before, and you take this inventory, this questionnaire, to find out what you're good at, what you like to do. I took one, and it said that my major gift was hospitality. Not cooking, mind you. I'm a terrible cook. My family will attest to that. But I like visiting people and having coffee with them. That's a gift. Who knew? There you go. But if taking an inventory is not your thing, there are other things to do. You can pray about it. We're back to prayer again. You can sit quietly. You can walk and talk with God. And maybe you will sense something. Maybe you will sense what your gift is. And maybe prayer will turn out to be that gift. Or you can ask someone. Now, it's not always comfortable to ask people what your gift is. It takes a bit of bravery to do that. So you start by asking a family member or a dear friend, what do you think my gift is? What do you think I'm good at? Ask someone wise, someone you respect. You can even ask your pastor. I've been here 3 months, but I sense some amazing gifts among you. Ask me. I'm happy to tell you what I think. Sometimes we may not know what our gift is, but others can see it. Ask them. We all have a gift. What is yours? And another way to discover what your gift is, and I'm sure you have found this out, it's by simply trying new things. I always tell people if they're looking for a gift, try teaching Sunday school. It's an excellent thing to do. What if that's your gift and you've never done it? Or maybe it's singing in the choir. Or maybe it's volunteering for a cause that you didn't know you could do. Some people, believe it or not, are very good at asking for money. Is that like our little boy up here? Is that your gift? Is giving generously your gift? Or caring for others? How will you know what your gift is until you try? Do different things until you find out what it is, and then once you discover it, use it. The third thing. Use your gift that God gave you, because what good will it do if you keep it close like this? We're supposed to use our gifts for the common good, so we can fulfill our hopes and dreams, or fulfill God's hopes and dreams for us, for the church. Whatever your gift is, use it. Use it to make the world a better place, or your little corner of the world a better place, or maybe one person's life better. Because when you use your gifts, you bless God, and when you bless God, you bless others. So now this is the fun part. In just a moment, I'm going to invite you to come forward like we would if we were having communion. We'll start over this way. And you're going to bring your hope and dream for the church. So you get to start filling out those little Post-its. And as you do, I'd like you to bring your gifts. Now this can be your pledge card, but it doesn't have to be. This is a symbolic thing. Bring the gifts that you have to offer and mentally place them in the offering plate. Because without your gifts, we cannot fulfill the vision and the hopes and the dreams of this church. We need all of your gifts as one. So Mary has agreed to play some music, and when I see that you're done writing on the little Post-its, pass a pen around if you need to. We'll start over on this side. You ready? We'll start over.